guys, Tomboy601, and today we're taking out Giuseppe Verdi. This updates campaign ship, and one that may look a bit familiar to you, and that's because, well, we've sort of gotten the sister ship already this year as a campaign ship, and that's going to be the Marco Polo. And when you're trying to compare between these two ships, it's going to be a bit difficult, but think of Giuseppe Verdi as the tech tree styled ship compared to Marco Polo's main battery SAP. Over on PC, Giuseppe Verdi has the distinction of having secondary SAP shells. Well, they have that. That's our tech tree stuff. So they had to do something to make Giuseppe Verdi stand out just a little. And what did they do? Well, they took away its smoke. Sad Italian noises, and instead gave it the option to equip either a radar or a sonar. And in our case, we are equipping the sonar the radar because, well, I feel like you should equip the thing that's not as common as any other vessel out there. So that radar is pretty powerful, 9.5 kilometer detectability for ships. It's going to last 35 seconds, so you can get 2 full salvos of a main battery out during it. It's going to reload in 180 seconds, and we get by default 2 charges. As far as our commander goes, when you're playing the Italian boats, you kind of have to make the decision: do I build? How do I build it? In this case, we are going Angelo Iacchino. You want to get the most accuracy you can out of these 16-inch guns. Here's our friend the Friesland there, and well, five hits. That's not too bad. I'm gonna call that not too bad. As far as the build on the rest of the vessel, we're kind of built towards the main battery, but I wanted to try to spec a little bit into the secondaries, just because mentally, I was like, hey, if I want to be able to get my secondaries about to the range of that radar, that way if I can see something with the radar, I can hit it with the secondaries. I wouldn't exactly advise building into that because we'll see in a little bit just how effective these secondaries are, given that we've built both our first upgrade slot and one of our inspirations into secondaries. And well, let's just call the results as not great. They're non-plus, if you will. Anyways, we're off on the right-hand side of this set of islands, kind of providing support. We have a beautiful broadside Kansas out here, so we're going to try to use our plane to spot the Kansas, see if we can get some cheeky free shots. Of course, we do have 16-inch guns. Main battery range on them is 17.7 kilometers with this current build, which is a bit shorter than Marco Polo. And this is the kind of thing that I have to debate with myself on where Giuseppe Verdi really lands, because ideally, if you recall Marco Polo, I really enjoyed using it with just AP because the Italian AP is great. The problem is we don't get a lot of range out of it. It's kind of high velocity, so once you get into range, you can get a good chunk of overpens with it, which means you're kind of makes you want to brawl with it, but you never want to brawl, especially in this sort of vessel, as you're going to see this Marco Polo come around the corner. He's giving us broadside, and look what happens when you're broadside in these vessels. Yeah, big chunks. And now let's go ahead and take a look at those secondaries. We have a Marco Polo 6.7 kilometers out. We should just rack in the secondary hits here as he is broadside, barely accelerating. And in that entire time, we got 4 secondary hits. Five secondary hits, 4 secondary hits. Not great. Not exactly great results considering how large of a target Marco Polo is. Now, I want you to apply that to, let's say, a moving destroyer. And you understand where the troubles with Giuseppe Verdi continue to come from. Secondary range on the ship, like I said, 8.3 kilometers. You have 2 sets of secondaries, 12 of those 2-barreled, 6 on each side, 90 millimeter ones, those little like pillbox turrets that are along the side that can be damaged relatively easy. And then you have 4 3-barreled 152s. Of course, they all fire SAP, which means they are actually effective compared to the Marco Polo. Kansas continuing to sit broadside, and well, Italian accuracy hurts us there. We have an accuracy commander on the boat, but you can still kind of get hurt by the accuracy of these vessels. So you do kind of just have to understand that even though you kind of want to play this ship as an accuracy build, sometimes that also doesn't really work out, and that's kind of the problem with Giuseppe Verdi. I think it is a ship where it has a bunch of traits that don't really mix very well. Some of them telling you to be a brawler, some of them telling you to be a long range person, some of them telling you to be a like there isn't a consistent vision with this ship. There's just it's a Marco Polo with a couple of stats changed, and we put a radar on it. And I don't think it really makes for a compelling ship. I think it makes for a ship that is primed for a visit from the balance department. Maybe a little bit of a buff here. We saw here's a second chance on those secondaries. Friesland 8.1 kilometers, so well within our secondary range. And let's see if we can we finish him off with our radar here. We have our radar going. We probably need to hit him once, maybe once. Kansas coming across our bow broadside, so we're going to use our main batteries to finish him off here, just because he needs to get going. There we go. And secondaries, did you manage to kill the Friesland? No. No. Guys, come on. We built into you. Shatters from Republic, and what is he going to do to us? Ooh, yep, that hurt. So there's prime example of what Giuseppe Verdi is sort of like. As far as plan for the rest of this battle, we know the enemy has 2 destroyers left, both of them over on our side. We did just burn one of our radars, trying to kill off this Friesland. We were unsuccessful in that. He's trying to get a nice permafire on us. We also have this Republic and a Lightning that is sitting out there. So we're just going to continue to hold. Right now, our team, we're up on points. We're up on ships. We are matched as far as cap control goes, which is always good. We'll go ahead and just take these pot shots into Republic as we can. Maybe try loading the HE. See if we can get some fire started on Republic. Because, yeah, it's going to be one of those things where when you think you're not going to get any hits with AP, you get a couple of decent hits, but HE should bear a bit more fruit. Additionally, we have these 2 destroyers kind of pushing out towards A. As they do that, they will probably see the enemy destroyers, in which case the use of HE will most likely be useful as we fire off our front guns at that Friesland, and our Kagero ends up taking out the Friesland. Good on him. The hunter becoming the hunted right there. And we'll try to whittle down this Republic, and if we can approximate where this Lightning is, maybe go after him. But also, what I'm wanting to do right here is try to put a little bit more distance between myself and that other battleship. The reason is I don't want to come in from this engagement at the same angle that that other battleship is. Additionally, checking and looking at the minimap, we do still have 2 enemy vessels off at sea, and we need to be prepared of, likely these 2 destroyers should be relatively easy for them to finish off this Republic. Hopefully the Republic, or hopefully these 2 destroyers plus our 1 battleship will also be able to finish out this 1 other destroyer, but we have a lone destroyer off on the other side. So let's try to position ourselves to be able to maneuver if possible. Of course, this is going to put us at risk. And, well, lightning pops out here, and we can go ahead and use these wonderful accurate guns because we get, I think, a pretty decent roll here. Another 4 hits this time with HE taking a big chunk, but we ourselves now are sailing into a crossfire one, which we don't have the ability, you know, to use rolling smoke to position ourselves a little bit better. We're going to go ahead and pop our heal right there, get Testudo going. Be prepared if we see shells coming in from our friend the Republique to use the damage control bar to try to reduce any damage. But Republique goes down there, and at this point, those destroyers, they should be able to handle a very weakened lightning, and we are going to make our charge towards Roma. And well, I think if I recall, we end up using the one great torpedo. But guys, that's Giuseppe Verdi in a nutshell. I think it's a decent boat, but one that I have a feeling will be primed for a little bit of changes from the devs down the line. You know, it does feel very weird. I really, really wish it had, you know, maybe a little bit better. It feels like the guns are a little bit less accurate than Marco. If it had the same sort of accuracy as Marco, because then I would probably flip Marco back over to being an SAP boat. But at this point, you know, it's fine. 16-inch guns are good. They're fun. The AP can slap when you get it in the right positions, but other times it's a bit rough as we begin showering this Roma with our secondary build. You'll see just how many hits we can manage as we close ranks here. And once again, this is that thing where you're like, oh, I should build into secondaries. Nope, just build it into those primary guns. Oh, there we go, battle ends. Anyways, guys, if you liked the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. See ya.